Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And today we've got 4 brand new decks for you, including the new #1 deck. I did hit Infinite on stream during Saturday's stream, so if you're interested in that, check it out. If not, we will be covering that deck tomorrow. We could not have a new #1 deck and not bring it to you today. So we're going to kick it off, however, with Jet's new deck. Jet has a what he's calling Big Balls Phoenix Force that is doing really awesome. He is 1 card from completing the deck. He needs Hydra Bob to show up in the shop. As soon as Hydra Bob replaces Martyr, this deck is good to go. It is extremely powerful. It puts up just gigantic numbers big enough to compete with other Surtur decks with very, very few cards. This list is a thing of beauty. All right, so you can find Jet at twitch.tv/Jet13. There are, I believe, 5 E's in that name. This deck needs Phoenix Force, Zabu, Surtur, Misery, and Scar, which makes it reasonably expensive. Really sorry. Again, I'm going to impress upon people the importance, however, of buying season passes. If you've been playing long enough, Phoenix Force, Zabu, Surtur, and Scar are all season pass cards, which means the only high series card you would need is Misery. Once again, please buy season pass cards. It makes your journey in Marvel Snap far, far easier. And again, Martyr should really, really be Hydra Bob. So what you really end up wanting to do here is you want to hit that Shuri with Martyr and then Phoenix Force it back, and then if you play another card on top of that Phoenix Force, all of a sudden you've got multiple gigantic things. Ideally, you're dominating that way, right? Like that Phoenix Force is then going to come back as Shuri, and then you can play another card on it. If that card is like a Ms. Marvel or something, you're just good to go. If you play it as a Hydra Bob and Snap, that will move to another lane, and then you get that good to go. Tons of ways to win with this. So this list, turn 1, Zabu is better than the other ones. Turn 2, you want Psylocke for Shuri. If not, you're perfectly fine to play a 1. Turn 3, you're fine with Surtur. If not, you want to drop Shuri. Surtur is just really, really good here. It gets plenty big. Turn 4, Shuri. You can Attuma if you're not going to get the Misery off and get rid of a card. If you can Shuri Attuma, that is like the ideal situation here. Now you have a 20 power lane, nice and easy. Or you can play a card on Shuri. Remember that Shuri Attuma should be alone, please. Then you want to play. You can also play Misery or Phoenix Force at that point. You would really like to get that card destroyed. You can still go Shuri 4 into Attuma 5 if you've got Zabu out and you've got a 3-cost Phoenix Force and a 3-cost something else. Because at that point, what you're going to want to do is play a 3-cost Phoenix Force with a 3-cost Ms. Marvel, or you can just play that 3-cost Phoenix Force, and if you've got a big old Attuma out, and if you can get that Phoenix Force out early, or you've got Surtur growing, whatever the case may be, you end up with an early Scar for a ton of extra power, and then you just play sort of everything else out. This deck is not straightforward, but it is ridiculously fun. If you're looking for some wild combos that your opponent's not going to know what to do with, this is the deck for you. Jet's a genius, and his decks are some of the most fun in all of Marvel Snap. We're going to chat for a moment. Then we've got the deck of the current #1 player. It is the versatile Surtur build. We've been waiting. We have the all-in Scar builds. We finally got past that. And this is the like mid-range Surtur build that we've been waiting for. But first, one last look at Jet's Big Ball Phoenix. Again, super cool. I also really, really like the theming here because like we can run the Phoenix Force Echo with the Phoenix Force with the flamey Surtur, and it makes me pretty happy. But this list is just wildly powerful. Again, you can replace Martyr with Hydra Bob, but if you do, just enjoy a really powerful list. Oh, also, if you end up with the turn 6 Phoenix Force, right, you can then, even if you don't get the Zabu, you can play that Hydra Bob on top of the new Shuried Phoenix Force for 10 power, and that 10 power with a snap will then move that Hydra Bob elsewhere. It's going to pump up your Surtur and so on. Just tons of ways to put up a bunch of extra power for this list. And if you can get all this stuff going a turn early, that Scar is basically free. Before we go any further, we're trying to hit 16,000 subs before the end of 2024. We just hit 15,000. We're at 15,100. If you're willing to give us a sub, it would mean the world to us. It would help us hit that big goal that really feels almost unreachable. In return, we're going to give you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. Sometimes we do 2 or 3 videos a day. We try and make sure, well, not really 3. Okay. It's almost always 2. We very, very rarely do 3 unless you want to count shorts. But we do 2 videos a day when there's an OTA, when there's a patch, when there's big Marvel Snap news. We will have a special video out to run you through Deadpool's Diner, which comes back this week. We have all the Marvel Snap stuff you can possibly need. So hopefully you hit that sub button in order to make sure that you get access to it and help support the channel. In addition, we give away a season pass every week for most of the season, and then the first week and the last week of the season, we give away 5. So we are giving away 1 season pass this week. If you're looking for the 5 season pass giveaway, it was announced in yesterday's video, so please make sure you check out yesterday's video to see if you won a season pass. I think 4 out of the 5 were already claimed, but there's still one more person we're waiting for. So if that's you, go. Maybe you're lucky. Go check. We will also be giving away 1 this week. At some point in this video, I will ask a question. As long as you're subscribed, as long as you like, if you answer that question, you are entered to win Surtur. Nice and simple, right? If you want Surtur, you have a chance once a week here. All right, Surtur is the season pass card, 3/5. After you play a card with 10 plus power, this gains plus 3 power. I fully expect this to eventually be a 3/4, but I don't really care. This is going to be a meta card for a long time. This next deck we're going to look at is going to show us why this is a meta deck. This is a must-buy season pass card. I thought Kate Bishop was a new power level for season pass cards, and then they went and released Agent Venom and Surtur, which I think are both S tier cards. This is through the roof power. Go get Surtur. I don't know how to be clear. This is one of the best cards in all of Marvel Snap. All right, MSL Chamo is the #1 player with this Wiccan list. So this Wiccan list is a Surtur list, but it doesn't need to get Surtur huge. Surtur is often just a 3/11, which is more than enough power. You've got a potential 3/9 speed, a potential 3/11 Surtur. You can take care of their stuff with Shang. You get a little extra power and energy and a lot of information from Mirage and Cable, and you should be able to win the game through these cards because, well, as MSL Tremor shows us, this is a wildly, wildly effective list. You can feel free if you're really, really struggling to replace Mirage or Cable with a Shadow King. That's not a necessity, but it is a change that you are able to make in the list. You can find MSL Tramo at twitter.com/cpncalada. If you're interested, go check him out. Spanish-speaking player, but Twitter has a translate button on it. This deck needs Surtur, Wiccan, and Kate. Kate is too good for Wiccan lists. Surtur is just more power than anything else you're going to get in the game at that 3-cost spot. Speed can be Red Guardian, Nocturne, Copycat, Mobius, and Luke. It used to be to replace Speed, you would want Red Guardian, not Red Guardian, excuse me, Gladiator, but you don't want Gladiator in that spot anymore because if you're running against the 10s deck, that's a really, really dangerous thing to do. So Red Guardian can get rid of like an opposing Luke Cage, an opposing annoying card. Nocturne, Copycat, Mobius, and Luke are the changes here. I'm partial to Mobius if I didn't have Speed. I have every card. I'm a content creator. It's how that works. But if you have Mobius, Mobius is where I would go. Alioth can be Scar or She-Hulk here. I think Alioth is the best of these options because it gives you power into a lot of the mid-rangey decks that are playing against you. But either way, once more, totally fine. Okay, this is, again, the new rank 1 deck. It's got 500 games already at Infinite this season with a 60% win rate. Turn 1, you want Maria Hill over Quicksilver. Turn 2 is Kate if you need a 1, and Cable or Mirage if you have a 3. You need a 1 when you want to go 2+1 on turn 3 because you didn't see Surtur or Speed. Turn 3 is Surtur over Speed over 2+1, although Speed is still perfectly respectable here. You can fairly often end up playing like Surtur on turn 5 with a Shang-Chi after a Wiccan, and then you're totally fine because you're just playing him as a 3 at that point. All right, turn 4, you really want Wiccan. Wiccan is a snap condition in this deck. This is about as strong as Wiccan gets for this particular list over a 3+1. So if you went Surtur, now you can go Speed and Quicksilver, Speed and Maria, whatever else. Turn 5, you would like Arrow if you don't have anything. Arrow and 2 is totally fine. Arrow and Cable, Arrow and Mirage give you a lot of playability, a lot of options. Or you can do Shang and a 3, Shang and Surtur, Shang and Speed. And then turn 6 is Alioth or Magneto, and if you play those with a 2, you're totally freaking fine. Cool? We're going to talk Frigga, but first, one last look at the #1 deck of Marvel Snap. Again, every card here has a ton of viability. Quicksilver basically guarantees you a 1. Maria Hill, if seen, says it's an extra shot at a 2 early, plus you're more likely, that is the only card you're more likely to draw because you're running Quicksilver. Mirage and Cable can help fill out your curve, or help fill out your curve with extra cards to play with Wiccan. Kate Bishop gives you options on turn 3 when you don't draw the Surtur or the Speed. Surtur and Speed are just the biggest 3s. They're saying, I can now compete on stats. Shang-Chi is your cube winner, along with Alioth, to say, okay, you have to try and go big to beat me, but now you can't. Arrow is just the biggest 5. 5/10 is perfectly disruptive. Wiccan is the key to the deck for the extra energy it offers, and then Magneto helps, really, really, really helps beat the other Surtur decks because it pulls all those other cards together, while Alioth is your 6 of choice for stuff like Bounce or Bounce Move or whatever else, where it can win you those matchups. And again, you should have Prio because you have big cards like Wiccan, Surtur, and Speed coming down across the curve. This list is again a thing of beauty. Props to MSL Chamo, who is, by the way, a Snap Judgments Alliance member in our Snap Legends group. So yeah, this is absolutely, absolutely awesome. Props on the fantastic deck. Last chance review Frigga time. Frigga is a 3/3 on reveal. Add a copy of the last card you played to your hand if able. I love Frigga. I'm not going to pretend I don't love Frigga. I'm putting Frigga in a million decks. I have two Surtur decks in the game because I added that last one as I saw at the MSL Chamo deck, and I have the Tuccrr deck in the game. Outside of that, it is I have like 6 or 7 Frigga decks. I love this card. We're gonna look at a deck I've been crushing with since I hit Infinite, with Frigga in it from combat in a moment. It's amazing in bounce move. Both Ava and Sizer are crushing with it. A bunch of other people are crushing with it. This is a real card, and I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna get buffed somehow. I don't know whether that's make it a 2 or make it a 3/4 or something, but I think this is gonna get buffed. Having said all that, unless you want to play a hyper-specific Frigga deck, I think this is going to have to be a skip for now. I have a feeling I'm going to regret this. But for the time being, until it gets that buff, or unless one of its homes completely breaks, I think that this is going to end up being a pass. I love this card. I want to say, please go get this card, but I cannot do that and be completely honest with you. I think that my love of this card outranks both the stats and the general opinion of it in the community. If you want a fun card that makes really cool builds better, Frigga's for you. But most people, unless you're dying to play Bounce Move or this next deck, you can probably skip it. And that next deck is the Combat Frigga Negative. I love this list. It's got one giant, like, fancy trick in it. Sometimes it needs magic for that trick, sometimes it doesn't. Basically, what you want to do, and Ravonna and Psylocke can enable this, whether you have negative or not, is you want to go Wong, and then you want to go Sage on Wong, and then you want to Frigga that big old Sage. And then you just have multiple Sages, and it's just enough to win the game when you add it to the Iron Mans, the Iron Hearts, and everything else. Negative is obviously basically, unless they have Mobius, puts up more power than anything, goes over the top of everything. I again immediately took this deck. I went to dinner with my wife and her friends for a friend's birthday, and whenever dinner got there was a lull because there were a bunch of people there, and occasionally I got bored. I would grab a quick game of Snap because Snap is quick, and I would just win a game with this deck. It felt and like I was like drinking and like talking, and I still felt like I was crazy, crazy strong with this list, unless my opponent disrupted me. I lost like occasionally to like a Cosmo or something, but outside of that, this list puts up just so much power. It's absolutely stellar. You can find Combat playing this exact list at youtube.com/@CombatSnap. Please do check out our friend Combat. He's really, really great. All right, you need Ravonna, Sage, and Frigga here, but that's not that expensive, right? Like everything, almost everything is Series 4. Sage is a Series 5 card, yes, but Ravonna is a uh, Series 4. So like this is a relatively cheap list that you can play. It's also worth noting that we can potentially pull this off as a um I lost the name of the card now. We can potentially pull this off as a Gore the God Butcher deck down the line. I'm not 1,000% sure that works, but I don't think that this is far off what we want to do for a Gore list. All right, so I've been absolutely crushing here. Turn 1, you want to pass. Turn 2 is Ravonna over Psylocke. Turn 3, negative, if you can. And please, for the love of God, snap on your negative. Sometimes you'll lose to a Mobius, fine. Over Wong, and then you're fine with magic there over Ironheart. Yes, I will. If I think I will occasionally drop Ironheart on negative here if I don't have negative. Or even if I do have negative. If I have Jane and negative, for sure I'm dropping Ironheart because I want the extra hand space in order to get more stuff. And while Ironheart can be really powerful, she very often ends up wasted in those situations anyway, just sitting in hand, and that space is an extra whatever that can win me the game. Turn 4 is exactly the same thing as turn 3. Turn 5 is Jane if negative and possible. Remember, this is your last magic turn. Or if you've got Ravonna or Psylocke on 4, you can, if you got, I guess this would have to be Ravonna out, you can do Sage and Frigga on Wong. Cool? Turn 6 is extra stages or the negative go off. I'm not going to explain the 8,000 ways negative can go off. It can go off many a way. But if you get double Sage and Taskmaster, which is a thing that kept happening yesterday, oh boy, you have won a game of Marvel Snap. So enjoy this really, really cool list. Then we're going to take a look at a paper list. Again, everything here works together. This list is absolutely stellar. Uh, part of me wonders if Ironheart wants to be Cassandra Nova because of the sheer amount of time. I ended up just sort of cold dropping Ironheart when she wasn't really helping, but she is extremely strong and game when you can get her on like an Iron Man Mystique type play. So I could see it going either way. Still, really great list. Give it some run. All right, season pass question is: what do you think Snap needs to take back market share from Pokemon? If you check Twitch, if you check what's it called, Steam, you can see that right now, Pokemon Pocket is getting a lot more play than Marvel Snap. A lot more people are watching it. A lot more people are into it. How does Marvel Snap take back market share outside of just doing the same things that they've done already? Is it possible? Is it just that Pokemon Pocket is new? Do things go back to normal? Where do you land on this question? Let me know in order to enter to win a season pass. Also, if you'd like to see gameplay from these decks, please check out the stream team. Today is Monday, so at 12 p.m. Eastern, Gregor2424 will be streaming. Don't forget, Obihaved will have a video up of yesterday's decks later on. All right, Infinite Paper. Paper is a marvelous Marvel Snap player. That was cringy, didn't mean it that way. But this is yet another really cheap deck that is extremely powerful into the meta. This list is basically saying I want to play Mobius, right? Because Mobius stomps out Scar, and then I could be and then Valkyrie is just crazy strong, right? Like Valkyrie should be able to rock almost everything else that's in the meta right now. If I can throw a Prio, and you should be able to throw a Prio. And then like Patriot gives you enough power, and you just need to steal one other lane. And most decks right now, this is a very two-lane competing meta. So if people are competing in 2 lanes, Valkyrie wins you one, and you're competing in all 3, you should be able to steal the other one with less investment. You can find Paper at twitch.tv/paper with 2 R's. This deck needs just Pixie and Mobius. Those are, in fact, the only high series cards here. Turn 1 is either 1-drop, don't stress which. Turn 2 is Pixie over Dazzler over Mysterio. Turn 3 is Mobius, especially if you have Pixie, over Patriot. Turn 4 is Patriot and other 1s or 2/2s. If I went Pixie and I can Dazzler Mysterio here, I prefer to. Dazzler in a 1-drop is really great because turn 5 is Blue Marvel or Patriot. Unless I want to go Patriot into Blue Marvel, I'm perfectly fine going Patriot into 2 there. Yeah, you get the idea. Then turn 6 is Doom or Valkyrie, and either way you play it with Wasp. If it's Valkyrie, you play it with Wasp at a 1, and you're totally fine. Valkyrie is generally better at stealing cubes than Doom. Doom is a nice card when the Doombots are 7 or 8 power. It's really nice, but not a requirement here. Valkyrie is the win con. Stellar list. Play it. It's also your chance to play the really cool Jacinto Doom. Yes, I bought it. I'm a sucker. I had no interest in buying it, but Jesus, that Doom was gorgeous. So this is a really cool list. Props to Paper for this very powerful and very interesting list. You always love to see Pixie and Mobius coming back. As Scar and Surtur have been rising, so too have Pixie and Mobius, because Mobius and Pixie offer you both a high roll, and then Mobius counters the Scar decks, so it's a really great combo. Question of the day. Claire asked, should cards locations like Man Think It Was Agent Goose be 4 and above or 3 and below? No. I don't think so. I like the sort of ability. I like the sort of ability to counter them that's offered. I think that adding some extra stuff for that eventually will be a good idea. But no, I particularly like using like a Black Swan to get around a, what's it called? You can only play 4, 5, 6 here location, right? Like that works really well. I think that that kind of play is really fun. It offers counterplay rather than a binary, and I'm all about counterplay rather than binary most of the time. Noble Eagle asks if we should make Blue Sky since Twitter is terrible, and Twitter is extraordinarily terrible. Elon Musk is sort of a nightmare of a human being, but yes, we should make Blue Sky a thing. I am Snap Judge Glazer over on Blue Sky. Please add me. If I can get my Blue Sky big enough support, I would very much like to abandon Twitter, so please do let me know as soon as possible. Right, as of now, I need Twitter professionally. It's where a lot of these decks come from, as I scour for the very best things around. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks in each and every episode. I'm going to say thank you to the great Abigail Gieslin, Mandatory Burnout, a Burnout, It Regardless is a Word, David G. Wingfield, I always forget what the G stands for, but you know what it doesn't stand for? Pixel Hellcow. Dirty Casual, welcome aboard to Danton. Thank you so much for hitting that tier to get this. Thanks, I really appreciate you and your support. Always kind, LAB. The great FaThorNewman, who you must check out on Twitch. Good Dog Gamer, such a great, good dog person. Ink, the Graphi fan. I am Frostman, you sure are J. Nuffly. Thinking Poker, which is not a thing I think about, but I'm glad you do because it probably helps a lot. Prime Brian of Prime Mind fame. Check out the Prime Mind app. Ryan Burke of Burke Avenue. He's not of Burke Avenue. That's just where I grew up. Woody, Ryan Wood. Caretaker Lee, the King of Questions. Koi Ray, who comes all the way from Japan. Black Dahlia, my current alliance leader. I really do need to switch alliances soon, though. Someone needs to remind me. Pyro Frose Pyro, the Goat Seeker. Hello, Goat. Archangel 3K. Hollowed. Quid Pro Joe, who's no Joe K. He's also a Joe B. Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, my regular opponent, and always a pleasure. Ginger Prime, hey Ginge. Rat Goat, who runs all the wonderful shorts here and is in the finals of the Snap Judgment League against the Great Butt. The Great Butt. Haplo, hope you're doing well. Haplo, what's haploning? Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone. Middle Row, Rob Silverman. The Bizza, who's quite notorious. Black Jeebus, who is notorious for different reasons. Xorus V and Skippy G are rhyming friends, and Jessica G, who is not a rhyming friend, but a rhyming homie. I don't know what the fuck I was saying there. I'm trying to work out something that does all three of these. Jessica Gamble, hope you're doing well. Tommy Nyquist, winner of Snapchat League Season 1, the King of Bros, Brett, the Great Kazoo, Kefsi Huda, and Lunacris, Q-Town, Corwin, John Q, and Jim McHugh Clam. Welcome to Colonel Forbin. Thank you so much, Colonel. 8th frickin' Sage, Mod Supreme Models, The Green Goblin, one of the Osborns, Unibot, awesome name, Flan 56, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Matt H., DJ Mike Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, Zodrex, The King of Canada, Den Man Falcon, Jonesy, the Great Two Ties, The Great Lauren Whatevs, The Pirate King Tuccrr. Oh no, I almost the homie Mind out of habit. And of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. That's the video that has the top 5 decks of last season, my prediction for the top 5 decks of this season. And it's got whatchamacallit, other thing. Brain work. Oh, the giveaway winners. I'm releasing a Pokemon video to go with this. It's a very, very quick one, just like a 3-minute video. If you're interested, check it out. It's me getting Mew. I got Mew. See you tomorrow for more Snap Take.